Could I just put a question to Odessa in response to something that Alex said, and namely that is the nature of the war that was waged on Iran. From my perspective, I mean, the way it ended, Alex, definitely came off as quite fake. But up until that point in time, that looked to me from the outside like a real war. And they were doing a lot to inflict savage damage upon the Iranian people, killing civilians, destroying, civilian infrastructure, attacking journalists. I mean, it was the level of barbarism we've come accustomed to from Israel. And what happened is, from my perspective, is that Israel was getting, crushed by the ballistic missiles being fired from Iran. It wasn't as though they were on the verge of going extinct, but they were suffering a level of damage that they were wholly unaccustomed to. And they were beginning to realize that they were locked in a war of attrition that they were going to lose. And so they got bailed out. But from what I could see, the intention from the beginning was to wage a real war in Iran. It's just that it went way off the rails. Now, who am I to judge at the end of the day? I think what we really should be asking is our friends in Iran how they perceived this. Was this a real attempt to crush Iran, to destroy the country, or was it just theater?
That's a good question. So from my understanding from local news and local discussions that they have, within a few days, they had planned to execute or assassinate a number of high-ranking officials, even up to the point of Ayatollah Khamenei. And so that the country will fall into chaos. Infrastructure will then be attacked by mercenaries that they have from inside and possibly from maybe the Kurdistan or the southeast Baluchistan area, possibly from Azerbaijan as well, and carve Iran up, balkanize Iran, which is a plan they've had for like 40, 50 years. And what happened is within the first 12 hours, Iranian defense was back online. Ayatollah Khamenei had appointed new commanders because they, I think, assassinated 28, 29 high-ranking commanders. So head of the military, head of the joint military, head of Air Force, Iranian Revolutionary Guards, Air Force, Missile Command, all of these important positions. So then within the first 12 hours, 16 hours, Iran is able to begin to strike back. And as we know, Iran only used the first generation. They haven't used the most recent missiles that they had. And to the point where Ayatollah Khamenei was in the command room, not necessarily in the same room as the military, but they said that when we would ask for direction, it would come back within 10 minutes, reply to the questions we had regarding military command questions. And so I think by the 12th day, Iran was hitting Israel so hard that Israelis, I think within the first 3-4 days, you see Israeli ministers saying, crying out, did we expect this kind of reply? Did we expect this kind of reaction? How long will this last? So you can see that they're already on the ropes, as they say. And I think Donald Trump at the beginning was saying that, yes, I knew all about this. I was part of this. We're going to do regime change. And then when the tide turned and Iran was really devastating Israel, Donald Trump tried to find a way out for Israel. And he doesn't want to be, as Alex rightly says, he doesn't want to be dragged into a war. Because a war with Iran is not going to be a war like with Afghanistan or a war with Iraq. There's going to be thousands of American NATO military personnel being killed, coming back in body bags, and that won't look good for him, for his presidency. And so he wanted to then do a kind of like Alex rightly said, try to say, look, we've attacked it, it's completely finished, so let's not talk about it anymore. And from what I've heard, Ayatollah Khamenei said that we will end it, but we will have to have the final hit. So they were there. So with Israel, they strike Israel, and then Israel didn't strike back. And with America, after they hit the nuclear sites with the B-2 bombers, Iran hit the Qatar base. They fired approximately 10, 12 missiles, and half of them, or 7 of them, hit the base. Just to demonstrate that if you want to continue like that, we can continue hitting your bases. So I don't think it was a show. I think what happened is they miscalculated, and I think on the 23rd of August, the head of Pentagon's military intelligence was removed because he was stating that Donald Trump we only set back Iran by a few months, not completely destroyed the nuclear program or enrichment. We only set them back for a few months. And so that they miscalculated a lot of things. The Israeli intelligence, Israelis and the Americans. And so when Iranians also came back and became patriotic and defended the government and the military and stood behind Ayatollah Khamenei, they have, a lot of grievances with the elected government regards economic and other issues, but they stood behind the military, realizing that if the military wasn't there or isn't there, Israel would completely destroy a lot of, like you said, infrastructure like in Syria and balkanize the country and kill a lot of people. And it would be like, Daesh 3.0. It wouldn't be anything that you could comprehend because it's such a vast country. And so they supported. And then when you have that kind of support behind the leadership, specifically Ayatollah Khamenei and the military, it gives a great sense of power and energy for them to counter and fight back against America and the world to say, okay, it's not about, we can't regime change because the people are supporting the leadership. So let's go to, let's cease fire or stop hostilities. And Iran has stated that this is not a ceasefire. We're expecting America to attack. But what they said recently, the head of the military, Mousavi, his name's Mousavi, he said that this time if Israel attacks, and this is a key phrase that he used, we will have no red lines. So before they would have incrementation of their attacks, if they attack, for example, a electricity power plant, we would hit electricity power plant. If they attack water power plant, blah, blah, blah. But in this case, they said we won't have a red line. So I think they're like, look, either we're going to have to end this idea of them keep attacking us, because this is the third or fourth round of attack that they had, or they're going to keep doing it like they do in Lebanon and in Syria without any major cost to the fact that they can attack us. So I think it was a genuine war. They miscalculated. And then Donald Trump, as Alex said, just wanted to, wrap it up and not get bogged down into a massive war with Iran.